Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Learn How to Sudoku, where we take very easy variant Sudoku puzzles and we break them down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Excuse me. Today's today's very easy puzzle is called Tic-Tac-Toe by E. Biggie, and here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 9 in each row, column, and box. There is either a 4-cell purple X or a 4-cell green circle in box 9. Oh, in box 9, okay. Which forms the tic-tac-toe. Okay, so that would form the finishing solution. The lower right box in the grid. Yeah, so there is either a 4-cell purple X or a 4-cell green circle in box 9, which is, again, the lower right box in the grid. We count the boxes in typical Western reading notation, which is basically left to right and top to bottom, right? So therefore, this is box 1, this is box 2, box 3, 4, 5, 6, box 7, box 8, and therefore this is box 9. So in box 9, there's either an X or there's a circle. And we are currently not sure which it is. It is up to the solver to determine which player wins the tic-tac-toe game. Player 1, purple, or player 2, green. There is only one solution. Okay, so there's only one X and it's only one green circle in box 9. Okay, all Renban constraints in this puzzle are 4-cell X's. There must be a set of 4 consecutive non-repeating digits on a purple X, and these 4 digits may appear in any order. In other words, the X's are not split into 2 separate lines, so this is basically considered one complete line and for the terms of the Renban. Each X is treated as a single 4-cell Renban line. So on a Renban line, you have to have 4 digits which are consecutive and not repeating. Non-repeating is sort of superfluous, I guess, in this specific puzzle because all the X's are in the same box and you can't have repeats in the same box anyways. But on this Renban, for example, if you could have as a valid example on this it's essentially a 4-cell length Renban if you want to view it that way. It has to be an example could be 3, 6, 4, 5, and 4. And that's valid because it's all consecutive with each other and there's no repeats. What would not be valid is something like we made this a 7, right? Because the 7 is no longer consecutive with the other 3 digits. So therefore, it doesn't work as a Renban. And that's an example of how Renban lines work. We also have German whisper lines, where adjacent digits along a green 4-cell German whisper circle must differ by at least 5. The German whisper circle is treated the same as if it were a 4-cell closed German whisper box. So basically, it's saying that this is next to these 2 digits on a German whisper line, this is next to these 2 digits on a German whisper line, and this is next to these 2 digits on a German whisper line. So say if we had a 3 here, that would force these to be 8 and 9, because the only digits that are 5 or more away from a 3 is only 8 and 9. And that's how German whisper lines work. And then finally, we have Kropke dots, where black dots are in a 1:2 ratio. White dots are consecutive, and not all dots are given. I prefer saying that black dots separate cells which have a 1:2 ratio, and white dots separate cells which are consecutive. But, he can put it however he wants in his puzzle rules. So, for example, since this is a 2, this would have to be a 1 or 4 to maintain the 1 to 2 ratio between them. As an example for the white dots, if this were, say, a 7, this would have to be a 6 or an 8 to make sure that these are consecutive. And that's how crop key dots work. And those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay. Where do I target first? Okay. I think we'll target box 8. Because the reason why is we have 2 black crop key dots there. And we also have a German whisper circle in that box. Well, on the German whisper line, you can never have a 5. Because if you subtract 5 or more from 5, you get 0 or less, which are not normal Sudoku digits. If you add 5 or more to a 5, you'll get 10 or more, which are obviously not digits. So 5 can never be on a German whisper line, so 5 can't be here. And 5 can also not be on next to a black crop key dot, right? Because if 5 is not double any other digit, it's double 2.5, which is not a digit. And if you double 5, you get 10, which is also not a digit. So 5 can never be in any of these cells. Well, where can the 5 be in box 8? It has to be here. So this is a 5. These, now on this ring of, this German whisper ring, essentially, you have to have, it'll always alternate between low and high, which is 1 through 4 for the lows and 6 through 9 for the highs. And the reason you know that is if you take the digits 1 through 4, say you have a digit that's in either 1 through 4, the lowest of them, which is 1, if you add 5 to it or more, you'll get 6 or more. So the least digit you can have next to a 1 through 4 is 6 through 9. And if you take a high digit, which is 6 through 9, and you ask what can be next to that, you take the highest digit, which is 9, you subtract 5 from it, or more, and you'll get 4 or less. So what's the most you can be next to a 6 through 9 is a 1 through 4. So you'll always alternate between highs and lows there. Therefore, there must be 2 highs here and 2 lows here. That means in these set of double digits, you have to have 2 highs and 2 lows. Well, the only highs which can be next to a black crop key dot are 6 and 8, which are double 3 and 4. So therefore, these have to be 6, 8 with 3 and 4. So it's 3, 4, 6, 8, 3, 4, 6, 8, because there's no other highs that can be next to a black crop key dot. So we have a 3, 4, 6, 8 quadruple in box 8, which eliminates 3, 4, 6, and 8 from the rest of the box. So the rest of the box has to be 1, 2, and 7, 9. And that's how we resolve that box. This can be a 1 or a 4, as I said before. This is a 2, which means that's a low. It has to be next to 2 highs, which means these have to be 7, 8, or 9, because those are the only digits that are 5 or more away from 2. Therefore, this must be a low, and it could be 1 or 3, because those are the only 2 digits possible to be next to an 8 or 9, or 7, 8, or 9. 4 is not, because 4 can only be next to one single digit on a German whisper line, which is a 9. Let's look at this Ren band then. This has a 1 on this Ren band. The only set that basically is consecutive without repeats, that's 4 in length, that contains a 1 is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So therefore, this must be 2, 3, or 4. This can't be a 2 because of this 2. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 here, which means the rest of the box cannot be 1, 2, 3, or 4 because of the 2, 3, 4 triplet and the 1 already in the box. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 can only be consecutive with 4 through 9, and this can't be 5 here. Okay. What else do we do? Okay, so 2 cannot be either of these cells because we know one of these two cells is a 2 because this can't be 2. Therefore, 2 has to be one of these two cells. So this cannot contain a 2 in either of these cells. Which means that if it's consecutive, actually it can't even be 3 and 4. So if it's consecutive, it cannot be 1 because 1 requires a 2 to be consecutive with it. So this cannot be 1, 2 because that requires a 2. Can't be 2, 3 because that also requires a 2. And it cannot be 3, 4 because if it's with 3, 4, that would eliminate all possibilities for this. Well, okay, it would eliminate 2 possibilities for these cells, but then that forces to be 2 and 2, which is not allowed. It could be 4 and 5, though. And only if this is 4 and this is 5, because again, 5 cannot be next to a black Kropke dot. It could be 5 and 6, that works. It could be 6 and 7, but the 7 can't be here, because 7 cannot be next to a black Kropke dot either. Because if you 7 is double of 3.5, which is not a normal Sudoku digit. And if you double 7, you get 14, which is not a digit. This could be 7, 8, though, and this could be 8 or 9. So this is specifically 4, 6, or 8. If it's 4, this could be 2 or 8 here. If this is 6, it has to be 3 here. And if this is 8, it has to be 4 here, which is not allowed. So you can never have, because 4 cannot be next to 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. So this cannot be 4, so therefore this can't be 8 then at all. Since this can't be 8, this can't be 9 here, so this is 5 or 7. What else do we have here? So either this is 2 or 3, or this is 8. Okay, where is the 2 in row 1? Cannot be any of these cells. These because we already have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in the box. And this one because it has to be consecutive with 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, which 2 is not. Cannot be here because we have a 2 already here. So where is a 2 in box 2? It has to be here. Therefore, as a Renband, this has to be either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, 3, 4, 5. Either way, it requires 3 and 4. So this is always 2, 3, 2 here, and 3 and 4 here. And it's either with 1 or 5. This cannot be 4 then, because we already have a 3 and a 4 in the box accounted for. These can't be 1. And if this is a 3, 4, 3, 4 pair, that eliminates all possibilities here. So this cannot be 3, 4 only. It has to have a 5. So therefore we know then this has to be specific. This Renband has to specifically be 2, 3, 4, 5, which eliminates 2, 3, and 4, 5 from the rest of the box. So this cannot be 5. Therefore, this is a 7. And 7 can only be consecutive with 6 out of 4 and 6. So this is 6. Therefore, this is a 1 to 2 ratio with 3. Therefore, this must be 3. This can no longer be 7. This can't be 6 or 7. What's the rest of this row? Well, we have 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This can't be 7. The rest of this box is 1, 6, 8, 9 because we have a 2, 3, 4, 5 quadruple and we have 7 in the box. So that eliminates 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 7. So that leaves 1, 6, 8, and 9. This can't be 1. Therefore, one of these two digits must be a 1. This can't be 6 because of this 6. That means one of these two digits is a 6. Since one of these two digits is a 1, this cannot be a 1, which makes that a 3. 3 can only be next to 8 and 9 on the German whisper line. So this is next to is 8 and 9. Same here. This has to be 8 or 9 because 3 can only be next to 8 and 9 on a German whisper line. And we have 2 digits that we need to fill out. This is a 6, so therefore none of the rest of the column can have a 6. So this can't be 6 anymore, which means this has to be 4 and 8 because 3 requires a 6 to be next to it on a black Kropke dot. and we can't have a 6 here. So this can't be 4 or 8 then, because of the 4, 8 pair in the box, and this must be 3 and 6. These can't be 7, so one of these is 7. These can't be 8, cannot be 8, because of the 4, 8 pair in the column. We now have a 6, 9 pair in the column also, which eliminates 6 and 9 from the rest of the column. So this can't be 9, which makes this a 1. This can't be 1 or 9, so this must be an 8. This can't be an 8, so this must be 9, which makes that an 8. This 9 means this has to be an 8, which makes that a 9. The 8 and the 9 have to be next to either 1, 2, or 3. Well, 3 is already taken in the box. 2 is taken in the column, so this has to be a 1. So this can no longer be 1. This has to be 4, which means this can't be 4. We have a 2, 3 pair in box 2, which eliminates 2 and 3 from the rest of the box. Therefore, this can't be 3, and it has to be a 4, 5 pair. The 4, 5 pair eliminates 4 and 5 from the rest of the row. So therefore, this can't be 4. This must be a 3. And these can't be 3. And it has to be a 2, 4 pair here. This can't be 8 or 9, so this must be 5, which means none of these can be 5. This can't be 8 here. We have a 6 or 9 here. That can only be consecutive with 7 or 8. So this has to be 7 or 8 here. The remaining digits in column 4 have to be, what, 2, 3, and 7. Well, 7, it cannot be in a 4-cell Renban with 2 or 3, because the lowest you can have is 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 7 cannot be this one in either of these two cells. Therefore, this must be 7, and these have to be 2 and 3 remaining. Well, 3 can't be here, so this must be 3, which makes that a 2. The remaining digits have to have a 4, and it could be either 1 or 5 with it. Well, this can't be 1. One of these is a 4, so this cannot be 4, which forces this to be 5, which makes that a 4. This 5 means this can't be 5, and this can't be 5, so this must be 4, which makes, and that makes that a 1. So 1 cannot be here. So 1 has to be one of these two cells. We have a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple in row 1, which eliminates 6, 7, 8, 9 from the rest of the row. We also have a 2, 3 pair, which eliminates 2 and 3 from the rest of the row. So that leaves what? The digits 1 and 5. So this is 1 and 5. We have a 1, 5, 1, 5 pair in box 3, which eliminates 1 and 5 from the rest of the box. So therefore, this must be a 7 left. So this cannot be 7 here. Remaining digits. The remaining digits in box 5 have to be 5, 6, 8, or 9. This can't be 5 or 8. This is 5, 6, 8, or 9, and it has to be consecutive with 4 through 9. But it cannot be 7, 8, or 9 here, because we already have an 8 and 9 in the box, and we have a 7 in the row. So 4, 5, and 6 is only consecutive with 5 or 6. It cannot be consecutive with 8 or 9. So we know this is either 4, 5, 5, 6 is one of those. This is 4, 5, or 5, 6. Therefore, one of these is a 5. This can't be 6. What else do we have? The rest of box 6 have to be 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, this can't be 2 or 4. These can't be 5 because of the 5 that's in one of these, that's next to the white Kropke dots. So these can't be 5. This can't be 2, this can't be 4. These can't be 7 because of the 7 in the box, so therefore that forces this to be 6, which forces that to be a 5, which makes that a 4. This 6 also means this can't be 6, so this is 9. This can't be 5 or 9. And this can't be 4, 6, or 7, so this must be a 2, which means 2, 4, and 6 are eliminated. That leaves only 5 and 7 in the rest of the box. We have a 5, 7, 5, 7 pair in column 9, which eliminates 5 and 7 in the rest of the column. So this can't be 5, which makes this a 1, which makes that a 5. This can't be 8 because of this 8, so this must be 6, which makes that an 8. The rest of this row has to be 1, 3, and 8. And this can't be 3, this can't be 1. But one of these, so there cannot be 1 and 3 next to each other, because that's not a difference of 5 at least. So 8 has to be one of these two cells. So this cannot be 8. One of these also has to be low, but we already have 1, 3, and 4 accounted for. So the low has to be a 2 here somewhere. And we also have to have a high, and the only high that's left is 7, besides 8 or 9. And 7 can only be next to 2 or 1. So this cannot be 3, which forces this to be 8. And this is 1, which makes that a 7, because it has to be next to 5 away from either 2 or 7, and it's only 5 away from 7. Therefore, this is 2. This 1 forces this to be a 3. This 7 forces this to be 5, which makes that a 7. The remaining digit here is a 6. And the remaining digits here are 4, 5, and 9. Well, this 6 makes that a 9, which makes that a 6, which makes that 9. 9 is consecutive only with 8. So this is 9 and 8. This cannot be 8 or 9 then. Again, this has to be 4, 5, or 9. And it cannot be 5 or 9, so therefore this must be a 4. So this is a 7, which makes this not a 7, so that's a 6, which makes that a 7. This 2 eliminates 2 from this cell, so this is a 4, which makes that 2. These are 5 and 9. 5 cannot be here, and 5 cannot be here. Because of the 5, this actually has to be specifically 1, 2, and 7 here. Well, what's a 4-digit, 4-cell Renban that could be part of this? You cannot have 8 and 9 because the 7's taken out by the 1, 2, 7 triple here. So you can't have 8 or 9. You can't have 1 or 2. So it's either 3, 4, 5. Actually, it has to be 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6 here. This cannot be 3 and 6. This can't be. We have a 4, 5 pair now in box 7, which eliminates 4 and 5 in the rest of the box. So this can't be 4 or 5. So this is 3 and 6. This is 4 or 5, which eliminates 4 and 5 in the rest of the column also. So this can't be 5. This is a 9, which makes that a 5. And the remaining digits now are 8 and 9 here. Okay. Let's see. The rest of these digits are what? 4, 6, and 9. And this cannot be 6 or 9 because of the 9 and the 3, 6 pair in the row. So this must be 4, which means this can't be 4. So we have a 6 and 9 here. The rest of this column is 3, 5, and 7. And this can't be 3 or 5 because of the 3, 6 pair here and the 5 here. So this must be a 7. 7, not a 5. Therefore, this can't be 7. Rest of this column is 1, 2, and 8. So, and this can't be 8. This can't be 7. So this is 1 or 2. Okay. Interesting. This can't be 6 anymore because of this 6, so therefore this is 3, this is 6. This 3 means this can't be 3, so this is 2, this is 3. Neither of these can be a 2, so this becomes a 1, 9 pair. This can't be 9. So this is 2, 7 pair. Okay, if we have an X, it has to be a Renban. Where are the X's possible? I think it's only here, right? You could have 4, 5, 6, 7. Um, right. If you have 1, 2, 3, you would have to have a 4, and that's not possible. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is ruled out. 2, 3, 4, 5 is also ruled out because 2 has to be here, and 4 would only be here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, this could be 3, 4, 5. No, because this is 7, right? Cannot be 3, 4, 5, 6. It could be 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, 8 doesn't work because 8 would have to be here, but that would be with 1 and 2 only. And 9 wouldn't work because it needs to be with 8. So this could be the Renban. What about a German whisper circle? Well, 4 can never be on a German whisper circle because you don't have it has to be next to 2 unique digits on a German whisper line, which is not allowed. 7 would require a 1 and a 2 next to each other, right? But this is not 1 or 2, so this could not be on a German whisper line here, or German whisper circle here. And 5 can never be on a German whisper line, so neither of these could be 5. Therefore, we know this is a Renban line, and it has to be this Renban, and it has to be 5 and 6. So this is 5, this is 6, which makes this 9 and 3. This can't be 5, so therefore this is a 4, which makes that a 5. This can't be 3, which makes this a 6, and therefore 3. This can't be 9 because of that 9, so this must be 1, which makes that 9. The 1 can only be next to a 7 on a German whisper line, so it must be out of 2 and 7. This is 7, this is 2. This can't be 1 or 7, so therefore this is a 2, which forces this to be 1, which forces that to be 7. This 1 makes this a 2. This can't be 1 or 2, so this is 8, which makes that a 1. This 8 means this can't be 8, so it's a 4, and therefore this is an 8. And that's how you solve it. Wow, you won. Great job. You can X this one off your list. Very cool. I also like the idea of being able to eliminate the German whisper possibilities, and knowing where the Renban had to be was also very cool. Very nice puzzle. Very nice puzzle. I hope that it made sense for you guys. Particularly how I was attacking things. I don't think I'm still working on trying to improve that aspect of my explanation. Just sometimes my mind just takes quick leaps and I just go with it. But I wish I was able to actually sort of describe how I attack things. And I'm not sure if I did a good job in this episode today because it just sort of goes. Unfortunately, that's how I sometimes solve things. It's just sort of like because I've done so many of these puzzles, it's just intuitive after a while. Um, hmm. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku, and we'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.